Everyone, today I want to kind of go over what to look for when buying a E90 BMW. Mine here, for an example, is a 328xi. It's a '07. So the first thing you want to do is obviously scan Craigslist and look on Craigslist. Try to find something either that's a good price, or if it isn't a good price, that it's been on there for at least like 15 days. One of the two are going to be kind of your best bets. This one specifically, this one was actually priced kind of high on Craigslist. But it had been on there for like 17 days when I saw it, and I think he was trying to sell it previous to that. So it had been on there for a while, and a lot of times when people post things on Craigslist, they get kind of tired of dealing with people and they just kind of want to get rid of it. They're kind of at their wits' end, and that's kind of what you want to find, because that's how you're going to get the best deal. So once you've located a car and you're going to go look at it and you meet the guy that's selling it, you want to go over the car very well, because you do not want to get in a situation where you don't know what you're getting into and you figure it out later. So you want to go over the car. You want to look at first the outside. You want to look for any imperfections, like this one has a little scuff right there. Things like this dent, this a little dent right here. Maybe you can't see it on the camera, but it's right there. It's a little ding. And little stuff like that. You just have to kind of go over just the whole car and just look at everything, because you want to take it all in. And after that, you want to get in the car. You want to make sure all the windows work, all the electronics, and these BMWs have a lot of electronics. You make sure your folding mirrors work. Make sure your if you have a rear electric sunshade, make sure it goes up and down. That was a mistake I made when I bought this one. I didn't check that. And the sunroof, like the headlights, if it's got the xenon, I mean, if it's got the dynamic, these are called dynamic xenon, yeah. Headlights, make sure when you turn the wheel and everything it works like because they're supposed to turn, the headlights turn with the wheel. Make sure all your signals, your headlights, everything, fog lights, brake lights, all that stuff works. And then the next thing to do is look inside the engine bay. And obviously too, when you check all the electronics, look inside the car, just to like at the leather's condition and stuff like that, the seats, any kind of markings or anything, just any kind of imperfections, you want to look for them, just so you know. And obviously too, when you go to negotiate, you want to know everything so you can use it to your power to get better price. Okay, so next thing you want to do, check you really want to look under the car too, just to make sure you don't see any like anything that's crazy, like any crazy leaks or anything like that, or any leak whatsoever, even if it's not crazy, because I mean, it could be it could cost a lot to get it repaired. So then after that, you want to look in the engine bay, and you want to look for any oil leaks. You want to start the car up. You want to listen to the engine run. Make sure it runs smooth. Make sure it's no like up and down with the RPMs and stuff like that. And then look in the engine bay. Make sure it's not leaking. You know, these have a very high tendency to leak from the either valve cover or the oil cover gasket, I believe it's called. Yeah, it's like the place where you would actually fill in the oil, or I mean where your oil filter gasket is what it's called, I believe. And so you want to check to make sure that both of those places are not leaking. And I can show you that really quick. Show you, because this one actually is leaking from the valve cover gasket. So you can give you an example of what to look for. which I knew it when I bought the car, so it wasn't like a big deal. But I am gonna have to get it fixed because I don't like the smell. It's not like a huge deal. You can drive it for a while like this as long as it's not like leaking crazy. But it's gonna be hard to see this. There is actually, gosh, it is. Oh, let's see if you can see that bolt down there. Wait a minute. What am I looking at on the thing? Right here. Okay. So the bolt right here. It's a little bolt right there. All the bolts that go around the valve cover gasket. As you can see, it's a little oil residue right there where they meet. There we go. Right where they meet. And you can see it's a lot of oil around there like this. See that oil on that thing? So all that stuff right there is indication that the valve cover gasket needs to be replaced. And that's probably a $300 to $600 job, somewhere in there. So you want to kind of know about that. The next thing you kind of want to look at, maybe you can look at like down here just to make sure it's no like, you don't see any puddling of liquids or anything, because that's where it's going to go, because it has a cover that would kind of keep it in there. So you want to look in there and make sure there's no puddling of any kind of liquids that could, because there's a be leaks basically. So you want to look for all that, and then after that, you know everything. You know if it's any kind of oil pan, oil cover leaks, oil filter housing leaks. That's what it's called. Oil housing filter gasket is what would be leaking. That's that other piece that that's beside. It's like a round thing, has like a little round top on it, and that's where your oil filter would go. So okay, yeah, so that's the gasket for that. It leaks. After you know everything like that, then it would be time to go ahead and take it for a test drive. And you would get in there. You'd probably just take it, maybe 1 or 2 miles or something, not too crazy. But what you want to do is, when you get out on the street and you got a little room, floor it. Just give it all it's got. Everything it's gonna do, just let it do it, because you want to know what you're getting into. And it's like, it might not show itself if you take it easy on the car. You got to be hard on it. You got to floor it. You got to hit the slam on the brakes. I don't know if about slamming on the brakes. Make sure nobody's behind you or anything, but just, really make sure you know what you're getting, because people will sometimes not tell you stuff, or they'll kind of, they just, they're kind of like, oh, they just won't think of it if it's a big deal themselves, so they won't say anything. So you kind of need to figure everything out on your own. Or they'll be just trying to rip you off. They're just trying to get a better price for something that's not worth what they want. So you want to do that. You just want to listen when you're driving, and also you want to make sure you don't hear any sounds, any crazy sounds. These engines, they whine a little bit when they're in like low RPMs, so that's kind of normal. But if you feel any kind of, when you hit the brakes, if you feel any kind of vibrations in the steering wheel, the rotors, and just everything, you have to check. You have to be able to know about all that stuff. You just have to know when something's wrong, how it would feel. So like any kind of play in the steering wheel, if the steering wheel's off a little bit, alignment issue type thing, you want to just, be aware of everything. And then after that, you want to come back to the guy, and you want to, beforehand, you obviously you wanted to have looked on Craigslist, on Kelley Blue Book, and you want to have looked up the car's value. And usually, if you want to get a good deal, you will go for the fair price, even if the car is in pretty good condition. Like this one's in decent condition, I would say. This one does need the valve cover gasket and stuff like that, but I believe I paid a fair condition price, or maybe a little bit less, for this car. So I'm not too worried. This was a pretty decent little price for this. So yeah, you want to negotiate, and when you negotiate, you want to have your figure in mind. The way I like to do it is, I like to just have my figure, and I just go with that figure. If the guy won't take that figure, then I will just walk away, because I've it's just how it works. You kind of need to have no feelings about it. You don't want to like be engulfed in it so much where you just want to buy it so bad and you miss things because of that. So pretty much I think we've covered everything. If you do wind up getting a good deal on it, they're very fun cars to drive, and they're very fun in general, especially if you get like a 335 with the double turbos. But that they come with a whole other kind of things that you have to look for. This is just for this car, which is a E90. This is a '07. This is a 328. I mean, it's got the non-turbo engine. So anyway, good luck.